Our guest today is Nathan Kaitz from Morgan Brown and Joy. Hi, David. Nathan, I'm sorry.
Hi, Peter. It's nice to be here with you and David. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. What's your topic today?
Well, just by way of background, I was on once before with Jeffrey, and we were talking about the Massachusetts paid sick leave law that goes into effect July 1st, requiring employers to provide paid sick leave. So I thought I'd talk today about a case that arose under the National Labor Relations Act and with the National Labor Relations Board about what happened to an employer that didn't provide his employees any paid sick days. There's a sandwich shop franchise called Jimmy John's, and a particular franchise owner owned 10 sandwich shop franchises in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. And he did not provide his employees with any paid sick days, and in fact required his employees to find a replacement if they couldn't make it because they were sick, and would discipline them if they didn't find a replacement because they were sick. Needless to say, these employees were a little upset by all that, didn't find those policies to be particularly employee friendly. And one of the things they did was put together a poster. And the poster was a picture of two different employees making Jimmy John's sandwiches. And underneath it said, "Can you tell which one of these employees was sick? We need paid sick days." And they took that poster and they put it on some community service bulletin boards in the Jimmy John's shops, and they also handed that poster out to the public as a sort of a public effort in using the public to try and help them get paid sick days from their employer. Well, the employer wasn't too happy by this approach and decided to fire a bunch of those employees and suspend other employees for engaging in that activity. In fact, 6 employees were fired and some other additional employees were suspended. Maybe they didn't engage in as high a level of activity as those other employees.
So from the employer's point of view, he's got to be careful to make his employees comfortable in their workplace. And from the employee's point of view, they've got to be careful not to be too disloyal.
Correct. I mean, it's you want to. I would say to my clients, you want to have basically policies in place that are friendly enough are supportive enough to the employees that work for you. So whether I think it makes sense in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that the legislature mandates that you provide paid sick days, I certainly think that as an employer, you want to provide paid sick days, which is a separate question.
I think this is a really fascinating issue, and as an entrepreneur for the last 20 years, I've really never heard about this.
Right.
So how common is how common is this for an entrepreneur to face an issue where employees go to the NLRB and make a case like this? Is this, happens once every 10 years, or is this something entrepreneurs really need to be paying attention to?
It's something entrepreneurs need to be paying attention to, not because it's not once every 10 years and it's not once a day, but there's plenty of cases coming each year that deal in the non-union context with this issue. Now, I want to add, there's one other issue that entrepreneurs and others and employers in general need to know about in this sort of non-union context as well, and that's their work rules. For example, if you have a handbook or work rule policies that say, for example, a simple one, your terms and conditions of employment are confidential. Employees shouldn't be talking about their wages with other employees. That rule is unlawful under the National Labor Relations Act because it prevents employees from talking about their terms and conditions of employment with their coworkers, theoretically, or it could potentially prevent them from doing that.